Hey, how you doing again? This is Chef Jorge. Now you get to see some pasta making. This is one of your projects, I believe, for Hospitality 23 that you're going to be working on in the next week or so. If not this coming week, I'm not quite sure. But point being is that we're ready to go. I've got my mise en place ready. I've got my flour here, 2.5 cups of flour. I'm just following the actual recipe that's being sent to you, I guess. So I have 2.5 cups of flour. I have a little bit of olive oil, which I put over here. Let me bring my mise en place oil over here. There you go, my olive oil. And then I also have salt, and then some water. I have extra water and extra flour in case I'm not happy with the elasticity of the dough itself once I get going. But I pretty much have everything ready to go here. And now that you see what I have, I'm going to do a little bit of work to get ready. My eggs actually have to be egg yolks, so we have to separate them. There's different ways of separating this. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm going to actually put some gloves on while I do this. Even though these are a little bit small, we're going to make it work because we're going to play with the flour. And even though we're cooking this in the long run, I just feel better about wearing the gloves. The only drag about gloves is sometimes the flour and the egg mixture, when you get going, sticks right onto it. But then again, it happens with your hands anyhow, right? So what's the difference? So there we go, got the gloves on. All right, so let's separate the eggs. Very easy to separate eggs. Some people will run it through their hands, and then they'll get the egg white to roll off of their fingers, and then they'll end up with the egg yolk. But we'll just do it a little bit differently. We're just going to open up the egg, like you see here, over a glass container, and just get rid of that egg yolk. See, egg white. There you go. The egg white's gone. I've got the yolk. That's all I want. You don't have to be perfect. It's not like we're doing some sort of I don't know what would be a hollandaise sauce. It's okay to have a little bit of the whites in there. It's not going to harm it. In fact, some recipes ask for the whites as well, just to save time. But I want this to be more of an eggs flavored batter, and you can do a full egg batter too. You don't have to take these off. Just remember that you're going to have to adjust your liquid so you don't have it too wet for rolling. All right, so there we go. Separated the eggs, the egg whites, egg yolks. Can't see that? There we go. I know it's a little tough to see right there, but anyhow. So a lot of times what people will do is they'll do it in a bowl like you see here, and they'll make a little, I guess you would call like a volcano hole or something of that nature, where you put in there. I have 2.5 cups. I could throw the eggs in there like that. I think that the oil is only like a tablespoon of oil. So if you want to measure it, you're welcome to do so. I'm going to put the salt in there first though. And the reason why I want to do the salt first is I think I'm going to move it around just a little bit around the edges of it, just like that, so it incorporates everywhere. Gotta have salt. You'll know the difference when you eat the pasta. Pasta has to have salt in the flour in order to build that flavor. And then I think it was like a tablespoon of, what is this here? I think this is 1 tablespoon, might be a half a tablespoon. I'll just do 2 of these, I think it's a half. All right, so now we're ready to go. We have a little bit of water, it says a half cup of water. I'm gonna choose just to use not the full half, just a portion of the half. And then now we're just gonna kind of like roll it in like this. You can use a fork if you want to incorporate it, it's up to you. I'm just going to use my fingers right now, but you can use a fork to incorporate it, just to break up the eggs. You'll see some people take a fork and they'll do this, and they'll just run it in like this and like that. But I like to be, I'm more hands-on, you know, kind of like why we're in this class, because we like hands-on type of work, and cooking is so creative and so hands-on. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I feel like I've got it all incorporated the best I can. And that'll give me an opportunity to see if I need the rest of my water in there, which I think I do. All right, put another little hole in there. So now I get a good idea of where I'm at now as far as making this dough. I'm going to put it right onto the board because I'm a board kind of guy. So there we go. On the board it goes. Maybe a little flour so it doesn't stick to the board. Right? Just get in there. I know this is time consuming, but this is what you have to do. You know, you have to incorporate this. And it gives you an opportunity to find out how it worked with my 2 egg yolks and everything else that we added in there. Kind of like giving it a need to see if I need more water. Don't worry about it being a little dry when you start. Get through the whole thing. You can always add water to it again, okay? Let's make sure we don't put too much water into it, okay? Now I could tell right off the bat that this is going to need a little bit more water. So I'm going to add just a pinch more into there, maybe a little more volcano kind of thing happening. And if I feel like I did too far, then you know what? I can add more flour to it. There we go. So I'm going to knead away, as you see me doing here. I'm trying to get a ball going here. That's okay. I don't have to use every piece of flour on there. You have a little ball to work with, right? Just give me an idea of what I'm working with. So you really take some elbow grease to get this going, as you can see. And if you feel like, oh man, I don't know if it's dry enough, is it wet enough, you know, don't be afraid to add a little water to it. That's okay. You know, I'm gonna do it here. I can always add more flour to it. Got plenty of flour right here. So don't let it beat you. You know, it's okay. All right, you can do this at home. I'm sure if you watch any of these food shows, there's always someone trying to make their own pasta, and the judge is saying, I don't know if he's going to get that done in time, right? Obviously, they don't have a pasta machine there, so they're doing it by hand, so why can't we? Okay, you see what I'm getting there? Yeah, nice little bit. You know it's working if you hear your gloves sticking to it, that's for sure. Okay? And kneading it opens up the strands, right? You have to knead it. So, that's why I'm working so hard on it. Alright. And then again, I'll just open it up like this. What's nice, if you use a pasta machine, it doesn't have to be as smooth. That machine will roll that thing out smooth as long as you can get it through there a couple times. And it'll work for you. There you go, look at that. Alright, yeah, so it's nice to give it. Might be a little stiff. We'll wait and see how it rolls out. I'm glad I added more water to it though, huh? It took a little bit more than what it said on that, but that's why you work it out every flour. Flour changes, it's different depending on the maker. And you know, they could have been using I don't know if this is an AP flour. They could have been using something different. There you go. So there you go. You got your pasta going. Pasta dough. Okay. I'll put it in there. Let it set for a minute. We'll be right back to roll it out so you can make some pasta.